Hey, Tim, how you doing?
Oh, hi, Yankee.
Oh, no. This is going to be hard to do for obvious reasons, but I'm here to buy some...
You haven't, explained that I'm a big race fan. And, I've got a Formula One Grand Prix, and
That's
every
true.
now and then I watch NASCAR on television. Big fan of Brandon Brown. He's an Xfinity driver. And his favorite expression is, let's go. So...
I like to get some silver quarters, Washington silver quarters. Do you have any?
Yeah, I have a few left. They're going fast. I have a lot of uncirculated quarters. And I won't be mixing them, but I probably will be selling the rolls of uncirculated quarters that I have.
Oh, I might want to check on them as well.
Oh, they're not a whole lot more than the junk. That's the amazing thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I definitely want to check them out then.
Yeah.
All right, so I do have a question, though, before I buy them. We're seeing all kinds of shortages right now.
Yes.
The supply chain, the Fed came out, they admitted, yeah, we're having problems, quickly blamed the problems on companies and the supply chain and COVID, right? They're blaming COVID. They're not blaming their monetary policy at all.
Everything to deflect the people away from the government.
Exactly.
It's those Chinese ships that are off the
That's it.
Pacific coast. It's their problem.
That's the problem, right?
And all those truck drivers that are now carrying oil that would normally go through the Keystone Pipeline, that means there are no truck drivers to unload these boats. And it's a little bit of an environmental concern to have tens of thousands of diesel trucks back on the road because you shut a pipeline down. But I guess that's less of a concern to the environmentalists than having the safest, most efficient pipeline ever designed online. So, it's better for the environment if you have tens of thousands of diesel trucks back on the road carrying crude oil.
I got a flat tire just about a week and a half ago. It was a slow leak. And, I had to drop off little stacks, and then I
understand you ran over a milk bottle?
No.
Oh, I thought you told me the damn kid had it under his coat.
No.
You're gonna have to edit that out.
I might have to edit a lot out on this. No, I'm kidding. But anyways, I came back to Manchester, actually, after I jacked up the pressure on the tire just to limp back. And I went to 3 different auto stores to get a patch to my tire. And every one of them were like, it's going to take days. They were telling me days. And I'm like, why? Because everyone's quit. We don't have anyone to do the job anymore. Same thing when I go to a restaurant. Same thing when I go to a retail store. I'm seeing those shortages in employment, right?
Yeah.
But I'm also seeing shortages of things, supplies.
Yeah.
Is that what we should be expecting when it comes to precious metals? Are we going to see a supply problem with silver and gold?
Yes. Not gold as much, because gold is kind of the gold in circulation is kind of finite. And so far I haven't seen any gold producers, with a possible exception of the Perth Mint, because we haven't seen any of their bars for a while. But we're able to get Valcambi and Pant. The Valcambi are the least expensive, and they're well known in Europe. Pant is probably the second of choice, and Canadian Mint still has not recovered in the pure bullion. I mean, they've been terrific on gold maple leafs, absolutely terrific. The day they opened up, they were available, and there'd never been any not even a blip on their supply. But try to get their quarter ounce or 10th ounce, different story. Same thing with the U.S. Mint. Quarter ounce Eagles have soared in value. The tenths don't seem to be any around. But and the 1 ounce have come down some in price. I mean, they were $200 over, and now they're like $125 or $130 over. But silver is a different story. I've had 1 ounce rounds, 500 of them on order for almost a month, and I don't know when I'm going to get them or if I'm going to get them. 100-ounce bars, there are some big buyers out there. And I have a deal that's going to be probably materialized next week for a substantial number of 100-ounce bars. The wholesaler says, I'm pretty sure we'll have them. That's his answer. Usually he's definite. Yeah, I probably got that in the safe.
Okay.
But it's never like that, and it doesn't matter what you're talking about. 1-ounce bars, 1-ounce rounds, 5-ounce. Sometimes that he doesn't have any. 10-ounce, he has to go around, scrounge around. People like Martin Armstrong suggest that if you're buying, a supply of, say, gold eagles or something like that, buy what you think you'll need for the rest of the year. And that's kind of a, without saying that, that's what the implication of what he was saying. And, yeah, he's pretty savvy. And the wholesaler said the same thing to me. He said, it's rather than coming down here 2 or 3 times a week, you probably should start batching your orders. He said, because I have an order in for 55 10-ounce silver bars, and I can't get a delivery date on those either. So,
well, I think I better get those silver quarters.
You're gonna take the last, just like you did with my Franklins, for crying out loud. You took them all.
You're never gonna let me live that down, are you?
No, why should I? I do have more than that. I gotta scrounge around to find them.
Okay, well,
This is supposed to be.
we'll definitely clear you out of this.
Most of the rolls that I have are upstairs.
Okay. Are these the BU?
These unks are 64. They're mostly toned because they've been sitting in a tube since 64. But yeah, I mean they're 250, but they're all going to be 250 soon. That's unfortunately that's going to be the situation.
So prices going up with junk?
Yeah, junk right now we're selling it for 22. There are people online selling it for 26. Wholesaler says next week he's pretty sure it's going to be 24. He also thinks that we're on an uptrend now because people are starting to abandon the COMEX, and the paper price is just not. There's no connection between the paper price and reality. Yeah. That's the problem.
But people are realizing that. That's the key. We always know that, but
I have lots of those.
You have lots of those. This is, you said 20.
Those would be 64s are 250. There are a lot of other dates that are going to be between 250 and 300. And the junk right now is 22, so 220 for a roll, and these at 250 a roll are not that out of whack.
Do you know how much is in that one?
I have no idea, but if you want to throw it on the scale, I could probably guess.
I bet you could. Well, okay. It's 372.
372. You want to buy all of those?
I'll buy them all.
Jeez, nice going.
What?
Now I got to go out and get more.
Yes, you do. I'm tempted to buy this, but this to me is just not. Oh man, this is more collecting to me. This would be fun. I would enjoy.
Well, wait a month and tell me if that's not a good deal.
Oh.
And I throw some uncirculated ones in with the junk anyway. So.
Boy. And this place was hopping a little while ago. Right up to the door.
Yeah, a lot of people who are coming in today are race fans. They follow the Xfinity series and Brandon Brown's career because they were all saying, "Let's go, Brandon."
So you need more junk.
I buy it every day, but it's not coming in the way it used to. So that's to say that people are holding on to their junk. I suppose that constitutional is becoming more popular as the way to refer to junk silver.
Right.
I mean, all dealers still call it junk silver because that just means it's on the low end of collectibility. And,
non-numismatic.
But the thing is, we don't put any junk coins in it because we don't have any more. If I find the really flat coins are worn or hold or anything like that, I scrap those as soon as they come in. I scrap them at wholesale, as by weight. So the term junk silver isn't really applying anymore. It's either 90% or constitutional. It's probably more accurate.
Give me your take on what happened down in Virginia.
let's see, they couldn't count enough phony votes in Fairfax County for the Democrat to win. It's the issue with parents and school boards is a serious issue. In this, $3.5 trillion bill, they started out by talking about early childhood education. Okay, let's see, early childhood education. That was a staple of the Soviet Union, Communist China, the People's Republic of China. They took the kids away from the parents as soon as they could to educate them by the state. Early childhood education, and you're talking hundreds of billions of dollars for state-run schools, state-run preschool. Not my kids. And my daughter found out when she went to the public school system that they were propagandizing the kids. So she took her child, he's going to be 5 in a few months, to a parochial school. And they let the parents sit in the classes if they want to. I'm really glad the people responded the way they did. But McAuliffe is insane if he thinks that the parents don't have a right to tell the school board how to teach their children. Last I checked, this was a representative democracy. And school boards serve at the pleasure of the people. And they do all over the country, in spite of what the teachers' unions want us to think.
There's a lot in the press and media that say this whole CRT is a figment of conservatives' imagination. It's not being taught.
If you browse around, you'll see, probably on YouTube, videos of CRT in action, okay, where they separate a person of color from a white person and identify them as the oppressor and the oppressed, or the victim. And the net result is, from most people who've experienced this, the oppressors then, from that day on, they're going to hang with the oppressors. And the oppressed, or the victims, from that day on, are going to hang with the victims. And what has happened is every place they're teaching CRT, you're getting segregation, like there was back in the 1930s and 1940s. And that is a crime. I mean, it is illegal, but it's happening, just through this so-called teaching, which is more indoctrination. And what they want to do is they want to separate people in this country. It doesn't matter if they're separating them by age or by race.
The divide and conquer strategy.
It is, and it's this whole thing about vaccine mandates. An executive order is not law. Nobody needs to follow an executive order. I don't care if your company says, to stay employed here, you must get vaccinated, and you have already had COVID and you have natural immunity, it's time to band together and take the company to court. If the people who have natural immunity need to band together, they need to organize, and they need to force the Supreme Court to make a decision. Okay? But remember, executive orders are not law. And the reason that Congress won't put these mandates in the law is because they know they're not constitutional. So, there's a lot going on in this government. People really need to wake up. I'm so glad the people in Virginia woke up. But everybody needs to wake up. And if you want to turn your kids over to the state, God help you. I mean, they're not going to get the education you expect them to get.
So true. Thanks, Tim. Yeah. And thanks for this. Appreciate it.